living our best life right here. Raise, live, connect. RLC Residences.
So buying property is a lifelong commitment. It can go all the way until you're all into your retirement. And it all starts by asking one question. I'm interested in buying a property. I'd like to know more about it. When we buy something, we always try to know more about it. If you buy shoes, you want to fit it, you want to buy a gadget, you want to check the specifications. For property, same thing, right? So you need to go and know about the property that you're buying. The goal is, before you make the decision to buy, alam nyo lahat ng kailangan nyong malaman so you can make the right decision, right? Because it's not a small investment to make. And owning a home is a dream of every Filipino. So we want to make an informed decision as much as possible. So what does pre-selling mean? Pre-selling projects, newly launched projects but not yet developed. Essentially, they are only about to start constructing the project or they're in the process of constructing the project, right? So that's what pre-selling is all about. So you might ask yourself, how can I view the projects kung ginagawa pa lang siya? You can look at show units at the showroom. You can ask for marketing materials, brochures, flyers. A lot of developers nowadays also offer 3D virtual tours on their websites. So you can also use that to try to see what will the project look like once it's completed. And of course, there are also scale models. If you were to visit the RLC booth, you would see an example of a scale model of a pre-selling project we've just recently launched called Sync. So that's what you can see for pre-selling. Now for ready for occupancy, or RFO as we like to call it, the primary difference is yung building kompleto na. It's been built, you're already okay to occupy it, there's a property management office na naka-establish na that you can start using it. You can visit the actual unit that you want to buy already. So, first of all, every time we buy anything, especially property, there's always the first question that's asked, how much will it cost, right? So, for whether you're a first-time buyer or you're a seasoned investor, you're always going to have a budget that you can work with. As much as we want to buy the biggest houses and condos, we all have a budget that we can work with, right? So let's run through the basic questions on how we can generally differentiate a pre-selling property from an RFO property so you can get one that fits your finances better. So if you were to look at a timeline from the time the project is launched to the time that the project has been completed from a construction standpoint at ito turnover na, the pre-selling period is from the time that it's launched right before the turnover. Once the building is completed, that's when it becomes ready for occupancy or RFO. From a price or value standpoint, the value of a property is significantly lower just as you launch it. Kasi ginagawa pa lang eh. But the value of the property appreciates year on year as you go up. And once the building is completed and it's ready for turnover and occupancy, then nag-appreciate na yung value ng property. And that's one of the great things about real estate. It's one of the few items you can buy where the value appreciates as opposed to, for example, electronics or vehicles na pagkabili mo, it depreciates in value. Real estate always appreciates, and that's generally how it goes. So pre-selling, the price or the value is generally lower versus RFOs simply because the building has been constructed over a period of time. As an example, we launched our Sync project. It's a 4-tower project back in 2019. We launched our first tower, the S Tower, in 2019, and we launched the second tower, Y Tower, in 2021. So in the span of 2 years, the property value of Sync has us at the start. It's already worth 114 pesos right now. So that's the advantage of pre-selling. You can buy it at a relatively low price, and then as time goes and as the project is constructed, the value appreciates better than any other instrument that you would have out there. One other difference between RFO and pre-selling are the payment terms. Generally speaking, for pre-selling, mas flexible at mas mahaba yung payment terms versus RFO. For pre-selling, most developers offer terms from 48 months all the way to 72 months, or balita ko nga lately, even longer, 78 months sometimes. So a certain portion of the price, you will have anywhere from 5 to sometimes 7 years to pay off a portion of that one. Because from the developer's perspective,